Welcome back, nerds. Do you want to know what makes me happy? Donuts. Donuts. Nobody's ever unhappy to see a donut. I mean, just look at this bag. Even the bag is joyful. Life is better with donuts. Man invented the wheel just to get to this. One of my favorite projects? Giant donut. But to be honest, lately, not even the donuts have helped. I've made this point before. Sometimes you've just got to dig around in the workshop. Experiment, tinker, just make something that makes you happy. I just have not had the time for that lately. So that is what this project is going to be. I've got the dumbest idea, and I'm just gonna have fun with it. All right, I've got some birch, I've got some walnut, and I've got a bunch of white oak. And I've got some light grained walnut here that I put in its own bin. I can get one donut out of this. That'll be the albino donut, the albino nut. I also put together myself a little fixture here just to line these up and keep them from moving around while I'm applying glue. That's fun. The wedgie sled you saw me using, by the way, was a design by Jeremy Schmidt. I'll put a link in the video description. I think he sells plans for it. I prefer this type of clamp for glue-ups like this, but I don't have any the right size. So I'm just using these oversized trash can rubber bands. These come in super handy for a lot of things, by the way. I link to my tools down in the video description. And that should work just fine. What? And those are going to be my 3 flavors. I have not counted these, so I don't know how many I'm going to get out of this, but it looks like quite a few. More than a dozen at least. So I ended up with 34 in total. That's 13 walnut plus the 1 albino, 14 white oak, and 6 of the birch. Oh, and 1 crossbreed that's a mix of all 3, because it's just what I had left. I don't know how many of these are going to survive, mostly because the next step is turning, which I'm not that great at. So, but we're having fun here. So let's see what happens. My last encounter with this chuck did not go so well because what I was trying to do did not fit in the jaws. But I have since discovered that it came with this attachment. It's amazing what you can find out when you read the instructions. That fits in here, and then you can screw your wood onto this. So I should be able to just thread it onto here. Well, no, I use the hole size it told me to, but it's just chewing it up. Sometimes the instructions are wrong. How about now? Yeah, okay. Not too bad. I think it's a good start. Okay. Can I get it off again? Oh, there we go. If you want to get it off, you just got to rub it a little. How round does it need to be before it looks like a donut? I think about that round. Yeah, all right. I think I can confidently say what time it is. You know what time it is. Okay, yeah, so it's amazing how quickly digging around can turn into actual work. Usually for me, it's the other way around. I know I'm not doing Paul Jackman numbers here, but still, this took a while. It's about 10 minutes each on these, so you do the math. I did lose one. It shattered on the lathe. But now I need to do the holes, the donut holes. But that is going to require a change of tack. And while I work that out, I've already told you about something that makes me happy. Now let me tell you about something that makes me sad. Garbage messages, garbage emails, robocalls, spam texts. Spam texts always make me the most angry for some reason. Oh, hey, it's a friend of mine checking to see how I am. Nope, the installation of Windows 11 I don't have has a virus and they're gonna charge me $600 if I don't call this Dominican phone number right now. Which is why I wanna tell you about this project's sponsor, Delete Me. You see, the reason you get a lot of those scam messages is because of something called data brokers. These are legit companies that collect your personal information from various sources. They get your phone numbers, your past addresses, court records, social media accounts, your family members' names, and their information, and they sell all of that to anybody who wants it, even phishing scammers. This is a real thing. But sign up with Delete Me, and they find out which of the hundreds of broker databases contain your information and submit on your behalf the opt-out requests that obligate those brokers to remove your data. And as long as you're signed up, they continue to monitor for your information in those databases and send you regular privacy reports letting you know what they found. When I signed up, the first report I got was 10 pages long. Stop dreading the spammers and the scammers and let Delete Me handle it for you. Go to joindeleteme.com/Wesley20 where new customers can get 20% off all consumer plans with code Wesley20. That's joindeleteme.com/Wesley20 with code Wesley20. There's a link down there that you can click so you don't have to type. Nobody likes typing. So the issue with these donut holes is one that I've run into before, and that is that the jaws in this chuck are not wide enough to grip the outside of these donuts. I went online to see if anybody locally had larger jaws that would fit this chuck, and everybody's out of stock. Nobody's got them. But then I remembered I have a 3D printer, and I was lucky enough to find a model of some jaws for this chuck online. I downloaded them, I made a few modifications, and I printed myself a set. Now, these are just printed in PLA. I didn't have anything stronger like nylon, but I'm gonna drill out this hole to make it larger. All I really have to do is round it out, which I am just now realizing I could do with a roundover bit. But I'm curious to see if these actually work. So that'll be my backup plan. Well, seems to hold it. Stand back. That looks centered too. This may work. I gotta slide it down to the other end here so I can drill these out first. That went so smoothly. I gotta do another one. That is fantastic. All right, I'm gonna drill out the rest of these, and then we'll get to the lathing. Yeah, looks like a donut. All right, just got to do the other side and then all the rest of them. Oh, I forgot. When I had the original jaws on here, I was going to say that it donut fit. Ah, well. Stop it. Now these are looking like donuts. And huge thank you to Thingiverse user Bob B for uploading the original Fusion file. I think I'm going to be making some custom chuck jaws for myself in the future. Now, I am just going to add a little bit of finish to all of these before I go to bed. And I will see you tomorrow. Good morning, nerds. So I was feeling last night a little underwhelmed about this project. I was a little worried about it, mostly from a YouTube algorithm, viewer numbers point of view. Usually I try to go a little bit bigger on something, a little crazier, which in this YouTube climate doesn't really seem to mean much anyway, so I don't know why I was worried about it. But I walked out here and I saw all of these laid out the way they were, and they made me laugh. They're ridiculous. They're fine woodworking donuts. Plus, between you and me, anything miniature, especially anything mundane or oversized, basically anything out of scale, I really get a kick out of it. I'm a big Klaus Oldenburg fan. So I may not be making 400 of these. They don't light up, they don't hover, they're not remote control, but I like them. They're just fun. And that was the point, to come out here and dick around and just have some fun. However, they are missing something. Now, as everybody knows, the Sprinkles donut is the superior donut. I will not be taking questions on this. So, I was thinking last night about how to add some sprinkles to these, and then I realized, once again, I have a 3D printer. And I don't even need to print anything this time. The filament is already about the right size. I just need to cut it into little bits. Now, as a donut connoisseur, I can tell you, this is a pretty typical palette for donut sprinkles. So we can aim for this, and I've got most of these colors. I've got white. The only one I don't have is pink, but I think we'll be okay. Now, I've got to cut a bunch of these, and they really got to be pretty uniform. So this is my favorite part. I was thinking about what kind of cutters to use, and I spotted these. These are Sputnik's Talon cutters, and they've got this little depth stop in there. So I can just stick this in here and snip it off like this. And I can get through these in no time. Now, I don't know if this is going to be the right scale, so I don't know. Let's have a look. I don't know. That's about right. I mean, they're about the same thickness as an actual sprinkle. They should be scaled down a little. They should be rounded on the ends, but I think this will suffice. Oh, I should amend my statement, by the way, about sprinkles. The tiny, gritty, BB-shaped sprinkles, those are the worst of the donuts. It's like eating a donut covered in hardship and injustice. They have to be the long, pill-shaped sprinkles, which I've learned in some places are called jimmies. I like my donuts covered in jimmies. Okay, so I have determined that I can cut about 100 of these in just over a minute, which means I can get about 500 sprinkles in, say, about 6 minutes. I don't know how many I need for 33 donuts, but we'll just, I don't know, we'll wing it. Oh, and I'm just realizing, not all of these went into the cup, and my donut was sitting right there, so I don't know which of these are real and which are filament. Oh well. I'm full of microplastics anyway. Of course, we're gonna need something for the sprinkles to stick to. So as you can see, I've been doing some science. I've got some Total Boat epoxy here, and I've got a thickening agent. I've been playing with this. It's called Cabasil, to give the resin more of an icing consistency. So I was playing with some ratios to get the right thickness here, as you can see. And I've got some, I got these pigments, these resin pigments, and I was thinking about doing some in chocolate and some in white, but I don't really like the chocolate. So I think I'm gonna do them all in white. Plus, that'll help the sprinkles to pop. And I've got to do this first part with a respirator on because this Cabosil is like, well, it's very fluffy and easy to inhale. 1 measure of Cabosil, 4 pumps of Total Boat epoxy. Now I add the white pigment, which will turn this from semi-translucent into opaque. Otherwise it looks a little too much like the seed of life. Okay, I think that looks about right. And I'm going to use a syringe for application. The first thing I'm going to do is lay out some test lines here. I'm going to see how they flow out. All right, that looks pretty good. And these are going to come in handy again a little later. Now I'm going to do a few of these at a time. Not sure how this is going to turn out. This one's going to drip. This one's going to run off the side. Oh no. Actually, that would probably look pretty good. I need a silicone mat though. I think I've got one. Oh, here it is. I thought it was bigger than this though. All right, some of these are going to be drippy then. Everyone's going to be different. Oh, that one's dripping on the inside now. I've only got room for 4 drippy ones. Nope, there's no stopping it. Okay, well, there you go. All right, they're all going to be drippy. Not sure what to do about that. What do I do about this? Shit. All right, well, I gotta work more quickly. Okay. Using epoxy always stresses me out. I did these in 3 batches, and it is a fine line I have discovered for how much I need to thicken these. They're still flowing out, so I've got to keep an eye on them and kind of fill in a little bit where there may not be enough. And my test lines over here, which I did for each batch, that's to test for both curing and to time the sprinkles correctly. If I put them on too soon, they sink, and I want them to kind of sit on the top. So every 10 minutes, I add a few sprinkles to these test lines and see if they sink or float. I already got sprinkles on the first batch, and I'm probably about to put them on the second. So I'm going to be here a little while, and then I'm going to let this stuff cure overnight. Good morning again. Once again, last night I was a little worried, but I got all the sprinkles on, I got them all cleaned up nice, and I walked out here this morning and again they made me laugh. They're ridiculous. They're kind of pointless, but they were fun. Each one is a little bit different in size, a little bit different in shape. The icing is different, just like the good donuts from an independent donut shop, which is always better than the chains. Each one is unique, and I have individually numbered them, so they are limited edition donuts, little objets d'art. And if you would like one, I am selling them over on my website, link below. The proceeds will go toward keeping the lights on here in the shop and keeping me making videos like this one. Oh, and you know what? I will include a little baggie of sawdust from the lathe, from their making. A little signed baggie of sawdust. How can you beat that? Thanks again so much for watching. Check out my behind the scenes videos over on Patreon, and don't forget to do something just for fun. Something just for fun. You're not dead yet. Oh, time to test more sprinkles.